happy souls, welcome back to my channel. This is Charlotte with Happy Twins 1111. Okay, beautiful friends, we've got a timeless love reading for you today. What does Spirit want you to know about your love life? I've got 3 piles for you. The first one is the Muse Tarot with twin clear quartz. The second one is Tarot de la Nuit with amazonite, and the third one is the Modern Witch Tarot with ametrine. So take your time choosing a pile. There's no right or wrong way to do this, just whichever one you're drawn to, what crystal you're drawn to, or you can take a look at the timestamps which are in the comments down below. I personally like to choose from the numbers, but whatever feels right for you. And you may be drawn to more than one pile, and that's okay as well. It just means there's messages in more than one pile for you. So let's do this. I'm going to move piles 2 and 3 out of the way, and we're going to start with pile 1. So let's go. Okay, pile 1, you've got the Muse Tarot with twin quartz. This is a beautiful deck. What does Spirit want you to know about your love life? Okay. We have got the 8 of Wands in reverse, the 10 of Cups in reverse, the Tower, the 3 of Cups in reverse, the 6 of Wands, the 3 of Swords in reverse, the 5 of Swords in reverse, and Death in reverse. Okay, these are really painful energies for you. You're obviously having a rough time. Okay, I'm also going to get some of these cards that I created myself. These are messages from Spirit. I've just written on these. Let's get a few of these as well. Being angry with someone is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to drop down dead. You are already in union. Separation is an illusion. Meditation, meditation, meditation. Dream big, your thoughts equals creation. Surrender some more, healing is an infinite process. And your soul is calling. Answer the call. Okay, I'm going to get some of these angels and ancestors cards as well. These are by Kyle Gray. We've got Wise One. Grow within your current situation. Air Guardian, shift your perception. Okay. Pile 1, these are really, really painful energies. It feels like I'm hearing that something came to a very abrupt end for you. And your perception of this may be that it was fairly catastrophic. It's certainly been very painful for you. It feels like what was perceived as being a potential union came crashing down at the last moment. And as a result of this, you've been left feeling very confused. It's kind of that lost at sea feeling. It's just so much grief and so much pain and uncertainty about what to do next. It does feel very final for you as well. It feels like the end of your world, you know, kind of the end of life as you know it, and you just can't imagine things working out. There's definitely been some kind of very significant conflict, and I'm hearing also an avoidance of that conflict, which is really interesting because I wrote a post yesterday about how we avoid uncomfortable conversations. They end up turning into something bigger, you know, dysfunction. And it feels that's what's happened, that there needed to be a confrontation, and it was put off, and it was put off until it exploded. And you're kind of wishing you'd address this sooner, but it feels like now it's too late. The message for you that's coming through here, though, is that despite all of this tumultuous energy, what feels like an absolute travesty of a situation for you, you're actually exactly where you meant to be. This is victory. And that's going to sound like such a tremendous contradiction given the way you are feeling. But in reality, This is what was meant to happen. And the blockages that do exist here don't exist because you did anything wrong. They don't exist because, there was some other strategy you were meant to follow. This union didn't come about because there is still huge unresolved karma here that either you or you and your counterpart are presently resisting in terms of resolving it. Neither one of you, I don't know who it is that's got the karmic partner, but someone here isn't prepared to face the music and to, we've got death in reverse here, clarified by 3 of Cups, we've got the 3 of Swords. Someone here isn't able to work through the grief and pain of that karma. Now, it may be that karmic situation, connection or relationship no longer is, but the pain, the residue of that karmic circumstance remains very powerfully in this connection, and it remains an obstacle or a blockage to union, to you and this person being together. And so what Spirit is asking you to be aware of is how your own resistance is the blockage here. So what's happened needed to happen. Things had to come to a head. Things had to collapse so that they could be rebuilt again. But there is a need here to have awareness. To have awareness of what's happened. As I said, there's nothing wrong with what's happened. But the key is to learn from it or repeat that whole cycle again. You're being asked to grow within this situation. As I said, even though your perception of it is that it's a tragedy, it's actually a huge triumph because it has forced things to this kind of ending's not the right word. It's forced things to a brutal conclusion. But from rock bottom, you can only rebuild. That's the message of the Tower. Everything's come crashing down. But now that it's come crashing down, from here, you can actually begin to rebuild. It's kind of cleared your path. A lot of the blockages that existed have now been brought to the surface as a result of this Tower coming down. Above all else, Spirit wants you to recognize that this is a spiritual journey. And it feels like you've been banging your head against this same brick wall for a really long time and going round and round in circles. This 8 of Wands in reverse really makes me think you've waited a very long time to be with this person. And just as you thought that was going to happen, it's not happened. But part of the reason it's not happened is because you're not recognizing that you cannot control the circumstances of this relationship through your external faculties. That's to say, it's something that has to be resolved from the inside. Now, I'm hearing as well that you feel very healed. Perhaps not at the moment, but that in the months that have passed, you felt that you've done a lot of healing. But you're being asked to shift your perception. And this is an air guardian, so this refers to mental clarity and matters of the mind. You're trying to apply logic. You're trying to apply 3D rules surrounding relationships, expectations, conditions. You are placing demands. And your boundaries, I'm hearing, whilst quite necessary, are often barriers rather than boundaries. They're too firm. They're too big for anyone to scale. They act as an obstacle rather than a defense. So you're being asked to be aware of how your thoughts, your negative thought forms, your limiting beliefs, and this desire to work things out in your head and control the outcome by taking certain actions or having certain conversations, even withholding information is what I'm hearing. There is a need for authenticity and honesty here, but you are unwittingly manifesting exactly that which you don't want. What you're being asked to do is to get in the flow of that energy and to stop trying to control it. As I said, there was a conversation here that needed to happen that didn't. And it was to do with authenticity. And it feels like both of you were keeping your cards very close to your chest. Neither one of you is prepared to discuss your pain. and to discuss it openly and willingly, and, you know, to allow yourself to be vulnerable that way. There's a huge standoff here in that respect. Now, I'm also being drawn to your anger. You know, it says here being angry with someone is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to drop down dead. And it feels like after you waited so long to communicate and to say what needed to be said, it came out as a torrent of abuse and spite and, you know, things that you regret, because the pressure had built and built and built through both of your inability to actually sit down and have an open, authentic, vulnerable conversation. And so the resentment's built, the bitterness has built, the anger has built, and it's all come tumbling out and created, you know, these really unpleasant energies. You've got to learn to meditate. You have to take responsibility for cooling yourself down and for recognizing that you are accountable for your responses and your reactions. You're also being asked to not beat yourself up surrounding this situation, but to demonstrate some humility and an ability to look at yourself and reflect on your behaviors, on what's brought you here. Because this cycle, again, it's going to keep going round and round and round unless you pay attention and grow within this situation. Surrender some more. Healing is an infinite process. And I do feel that for you, as I said, I feel like you've done a lot of healing, but you're not understanding what surrender is. The ego still wants what it wants. And you still have these very firm expectations, and you've not been honest with yourself enough to recognize that. You've always been in union. You know, separation is an illusion. You've always been with this person, heart and mind. You can't run from that. You can't hide from that, although I'm hearing both of you run. But this standoff that exists between you, with this person not giving you what you want and you furiously demanding it, this dynamic has gone on too long. And you must understand that when you threaten this person and you say, if you don't give me what I want, I'm going to leave you, or I'm not going to speak to you, or we're done, or don't ever contact me again, you're running as well. You know, and this is what I mean by enforcing barriers rather than boundaries. The guidance here is to allow yourself to be friends with this person, to actually remove all conditions and all expectations, and just allow yourself to love them as they are and in the circumstances that they present. It's not to say you should allow any abusive behaviours. It's quite right to have healthy boundaries in those circumstances. But I don't think this person is abusive. I think they're just very stubborn, and they're very afraid of giving you what you want. They're very afraid of getting what they want, because both of you fear loss, you fear abandonment, you fear rejection. You think you don't fear that. You think you've healed that part of yourself. You think that you're happy on your own. But the reality is there was so much anger built up here for this person. And just as things were warming up and moving in the right direction, it feels like it all came tumbling out at once. So you need to answer this call of your soul. You need to surrender some more and recognize that healing is never done. You know, you've got to be a bit more humble in your approach to where you're at in this journey. And above all else, you need to go within and shift your perception. There's a real need to grow within your current situation. And I did a post about this on my community page the other day, in which we talked about being in the present. And we only grow in the present. Yeah, we're growing every second, but growth is strongly and powerfully connected to awareness. And awareness is what you're being asked to develop here. So I'm going to take this over to the extended. We're going to have a deeper look at what's going on in this connection, how this person's thinking and feeling, and how you can best resolve this situation. But as I said, the key things here are meditation, going within, answering that call, taking your power back and recognizing that right now those limiting self-beliefs that you're not prepared to acknowledge in yourself are what is creating the outcome you don't want. Okay? So thank you so much, you guys. If you want to join me on the extended, please do find the link in the description box below. It's also in the timestamps, in the comments by the timestamps. And if you enjoyed the reading, please do hit the like button. It really helps my channel to grow. Tap the little bell icon when you subscribe so that you get notifications when I post a new video. And I will catch you next time. Thanks so much. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. You've picked Tarot de la Nuit with a beautiful piece of Amazonite. So let's see what does Spirit want you to know about your love life right now. This is a timeless love reading. So trust you found it at the right time for you. Make a note in the comments of which pile you've watched, because there may be in the future another pile that's right for you. If you've made a note of which one you've watched already, you won't be going over old ground. And if you want to check out my other readings, there is a playlist for all of my picker cards. They're all timeless. So hopefully you can find some more guidance in them as well. Right. Let's see what's going down here for you. We have got the Wheel of Fortune, the Ten of Swords, the Hanged Man in reverse, the Six of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, the Three of Wands in reverse, the Queen of Swords in reverse, and the Two of Cups. So I'm going to use some of these cards as well. I've written on them myself. They're just blank ones that I jotted some notes on. These are messages from Spirit. Energy flows where intention goes. Learn to appreciate where you are and how far you've come instead of being so focused on where you are not. Pay attention to the triggers. They are showing you where you need to heal. You are entering a period of deep transformation. Dream big. Your thoughts equals creation. You are not as healed as you think. Stay humble. And I'm also going to get some of these cards. These are the Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards by Kyle Gray. Father Sky, trust in the unknown. Wise One, grow within your current situation. Okay. So, I feel like you've had it's like a roller coaster of a ride. I'm seeing a lot of deep and rapid transformation, a lot of up and down energy coming through this reading. Yeah, it feels like you've been on a roller coaster. So what I'm hearing is that the energy's just shifted quite suddenly, quite unexpectedly. This may have caused some kind of conflict, but I'm hearing this isn't necessarily, it's not necessarily like really destructive conflict. It's more kind of playful, teasing, mind games, hot and cold energy. It's playful. There's something playful about it. And this shift has allowed you to finally kind of breathe. It's allowed you to, it feels like you've been keeping your head above water for a long time. You've just been treading water, but now it feels like you're back into control. Like you've kind of, it feels like the resurrection. But it feels like following on from this kind of period of calm that you were able to align with. It feels like you found some peace. A big part of it was because you thought you were moving in the right direction. And upon finding that you weren't where you thought you should be, there's kind of been another crash. So this is what I mean by this up and down roller coaster. It feels like, you know, you're kind of down here, things aren't good, and then they kind of got better and you're like, oh, this is good, hold on, it's not what I thought it'd be, and you've crashed back down again. And what I'm hearing is that you just struggle to hold your energy. You struggle to stand still in your power. It's like this kind of constant wobble in your Empress energy. If this resonates for you, you might also want to watch pile 1. There's definitely guidance in that reading. Even though your circumstances are different to pile 1, I feel like there's guidance in the pile one reading that may be helpful for you about the healing. Because what I'm hearing is, and the analogy I used for pile one is that healing is like going to the gym. You know, when you decide you want to get your body fit, you know that you've got to commit to a regular ritual and routine of training your body for fitness. And the minute you start reducing that schedule or not showing up, or you don't maintain consistency, your fitness begins to regress and you don't quite get where you want. It's not a case if you go to the gym for a year and go, woo, I'm fit, I'm done. Yeah. Fitness is an ongoing process, and so is healing. And to stay in the energy of feeling absolutely fabulous, you have to maintain the discipline surrounding what got you there. And in your case, it feels like something happened that dramatically shifted your energy and allowed you to move into a much more playful energy. And I do think your person is challenging. Yeah, they test your patience. I'm hearing this person knows how to test a bitch, okay? And I feel like you dealt with this briefly very, very well. And then you've kind of cycled back and you've reverted back to this pattern of anger and intense conflict. Now, despite this, what I'm seeing happen here is that even though the energy is very fractious between you and your person, that actually you have turned a massive corner. And what I'm seeing here is that both of you are committed to working through that conflict. That even though there's conflict, no one's throwing the towel in and saying, oh, you know, stuff you, I'm done. You're actually committed to the conflict and you're working through it. There's a real energy that's transpired here of a need to give and take. And I'm hearing that your person has really turned a corner with this. They're looking at this situation now and they're saying, I need to make this better. I need to invest. I need to put some effort in. I need to be more attentive. I need to nurture this. So it does feel like there is a new relationship here. You know, it may be very tentative. You know, it's definitely not deeply committed or stable yet. But there is definitely a desire from both parties here, despite the conflict, despite the animosity, despite the challenging energy that exists between you, there is a desire to move forward. There's a desire to meet each other halfway. And this is the really positive thing about what's changed here. As it says here, you've already entered a period of deep transformation. This transformation has begun. It began when that wheel turned and you stepped into a much more high vibrational energy. You just haven't been able to hold on to it. And so when you move into union energies without being able to hold yourself, you know, you're going to feel those roller coaster energies. So your challenge now is to just get back into that place of balance and stillness, and you already know what that feels like. Okay, but as well, you've got to keep healing. You can't put the ball down. The minute you put the ball down, everything stops. You've got to keep it up in the air, in motion. You've got to keep it going. You're being asked to, as well, with these two cards, energy flows where intention goes, dream big, your thoughts equals creation, to recognize that when all of this conflict, inflammatory communication, when all of this difficult, challenging stuff within your connection occurs, that you mustn't allow yourself to get sucked into this pit of negative energy. You've got to rise above it and recognize that energy flows where your intention goes. So you need to be holding at all times in your mind. The key objective here really needs to be to just be calm, to just be still, to go with the flow, to accept with things as they are, and to learn to appreciate where you are. You know, stop being so focused on where you're supposed to be. You don't need to think about where you're supposed to be. The only place you're supposed to be is in the here and the now. And I talked about growth in the present on my community page. So do go and check that out. I spoke about it this week. You've got to grow within this situation. You've got to grow in the present by paying attention to how you're triggering one another here. Is showing you where you need to heal. And by recognizing that you choose the energy that you reside in. You don't have to be in this this place of anxiety and darkness. And again, you are not as healed as you think. You've got to stay humble. Healing isn't something we do once. It's the same as an athlete. Like I said, you could be an Olympic gold medalist one year. If you stop training, you're not going to be winning gold the next year. It's really that simple. You've got to maintain your spiritual fitness and well-being. It's not something, you can connect to spirit. Thanks for all the love. Thanks for all the healing, all the wisdom, all the guidance. I'm done. No. This is an ongoing life change that requires your commitment and your dedication. But you are being asked to be aware of your own communication patterns. You're being asked to stay aware of how you can use words to wound and hurt. It's not just the other person in this equation. It's you as well. We've got this Father Sky, and I feel like the eagle is somehow significant to you. Perhaps Father Sky is as well. There's a Native American symbol here with Father Sky. The eagle is also a messenger of spirit, and it's asking you to trust in the unknown, and that's what surrender and acceptance is. We've got the Hanged Man here in reverse. The Hangman is surrender. But that's in reverse. You're too angry to surrender. You're in resistance because you're so angry with this person. You're angry that it's not working out as you are. I'm hearing things like, oh God, I'm so sick of this journey. When are they going to do their bit of the work? Why do I have to do everything? You're overwhelmed with this perception of you having to do all of this work, but you're not realizing that it's not really work. It's self-love. It's self-care. We don't go to the gym to work. We go to the gym to better ourselves. It's for our own benefit. We don't do it for anyone else. It's for our own well-being. And it's the same with the healing. Don't heal yourself because you think you're going to get into union with a person. That's not surrender. The whole point of healing yourself is that you arrive at a more healed state and you realize you don't need someone else to be happy, to feel loved. That's what this journey teaches you first and foremost. And it feels like you've been on this path half-heartedly because you're just hoping it guides you back to this person. But there's a need to truly surrender, to accept what is and whatever's coming, and to recognize the opportunities for growth that are presented through these situations. I want to get some guidance cards for you as well. What's the guidance before we take this over to the extended? In the extended, we're gonna take a deeper look at how how each of you are feeling about one another and how you can move this forward for the highest good of both of you. But I want to get some cards for guidance now as well. We've got Page of Wands. We've got Two of Swords in reverse. We've got the Ten of Wands in reverse and the Queen of Cups. The Page of Wands. I feel this is about your spiritual development. I feel like it's reminding you that there is some way to go, that you've only scratched the surface. You're not as healed as you think. Stay humble. You have a lifetime of learning ahead of you, and you can never know it all. You need to be aware of where your ego is trying to tell you, I'm healed, I'm good, because it just wants to get what it wants. It's all about squashing down the fear and not acknowledging the truth. There's also massive indecision, your refusal to make a decision. It feels like, as much as you want this person, you also can't stand them. You genuinely feel they're not yet good enough for you. And you find some of their behaviours and actions and their words and attempts at communication abhorrent. There is a lot of non-acceptance here. But the only bit you have any real control over, the only bit you need to take responsibility for is yourself. You need to take the focus off them and what they're doing wrong. And you need to place the focus firmly on yourself, where you can observe how you're contributing to this inflammatory dynamic that exists between you at the moment. You need to be moving out of that reverse Queen of Swords energy into the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups knows how to love unconditionally. You know, she's much more expressive, she's much more calm, she's much more nurturing, and she's coming from a place of love and peace. You know, that is the objective that's at the forefront of her mind when she is communicating in these kind of scenarios. So this is the energy that you need to be in. So I'm going to take this over to the extended. I really hope this one helped you though. If you do want to watch the extended, you can find a link in the description box below and also by the timestamps in the comments. But if you enjoyed the video, please do hit the like button. It really does help my channel to grow. I appreciate you guys being here so much. So thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to receive updates of when I post more videos like this. And I will see you next time. Thanks so much, Pile 2. Bye. Hello Pile 3, welcome to your reading, and you have chosen the Modern Witch Tarot with Ametrine. So let's do this. What does Spirit want you to know? This is a timeless love reading, messages from Spirit about your love life. So let's see what comes through here. Not the easiest cards to shuffle. Oh, we've got the Eight of Swords out. I'm going to keep that. And give them another riffle shuffle. They're so stiff, this deck. Okay. Two of Wands in reverse. Six of Cups. Six of Wands in reverse. Justice in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, the Fool in reverse, and the Star. So I'm going to use some of these cards as well, which I wrote on myself. They're just blanks that I've put messages from Spirit on. Embrace and accept your divinity. Do not fear judgment. Be brave. Face the fear and do it anyway. There is going to be a seismic shift soon. Are you ready? Leaving you behind broke me in ways you wouldn't believe. That's actually from the other deck. It's got mixed up in this one. Surrender some more. Healing is an infinite process. Are you willing to accept this person as they are? So funny, as soon as I said that, I heard a no, I'm not. Your karma will be resolved when you decide to resolve it. Okay, let's get two of these as well. These are the Angel and Ancestors Oracle deck by Carl Gray. We have got Oracle, wait for important information, and Druid, hold the space. Let me just check you can see all these. Yeah. Sorry about the wobbly camera. Okay, Pile 3. These are such confusing energies. I need to pull a clarifier here. Right, okay. There's unresolved karma here for sure, with this Justice in reverse. It's not clear who this unresolved karma belongs to, but this whole situation of the karma is keeping you both stuck. And we've got the Everything is Fine card here in reverse, which is like the Ten of Swords. There's a blockage here. There's some kind of painful situation that one of you needs to move on from, and there's so much resistance to doing that. And I feel like you, in fact, I think this is your person. Your person is refusing to move on from some kind of grief, pain, karmic situation that is keeping them stuck. But for you, I feel like you're really applying the pressure. You know, I'm hearing guilt trips. If you cared about me, you would or you wouldn't, or, you know, there's there's a lot of emotional pressure here. Now, it's interesting that it says, are you willing to accept this person as they are? Because I feel like right now, neither one of you are making decisions. Neither one of you is in this energy of acceptance. We've got the Two of Wands, which is about decisions, and we've got the Lovers in reverse also, which is also about choices and love. And yet with the Six of Cups, you know, there is an opportunity here for this relationship to start over. There's definitely a past life connection between you two. You could be soulmates, twin flames, there's a spiritual connection here. But this is someone from your past. This is a relationship that, you know, has probably been on and off through millennia. And it just feels like the timing of it right now is all wrong. Neither one of you is actually ready for this new beginning. It feels like you've both turned up in one another's lives at a really complex moment. And so there's this kind of feeling of resignation of, you know, this probably can't work between us. We probably can't have that victory in love. But there's also this wishful thinking and this desire and hope that maybe someday it can happen. There is deep love here. You know, both of you care about each other very much. But I do feel very, very strongly that there is some karma here. This karma standing in the way that needs to be resolved. The overwhelming guidance that's coming through, though, is for you not to be hasty, to not make any rush decisions. It does say here there's going to be a seismic shift soon. You know, you've got to be ready for this. And this, you know, even here, wait for important information and hold the space. So the guidance right now is to come out of this emotional imbalance that you've been floundering in. You know, recognize that this person, they've just got stuff to resolve, and this kind of muddies the waters between you. But the best thing you can do right now is recognize that this has come up now for a reason. And whilst it may appear that the conditions aren't appropriate for this relationship to occur in the way it needs to, it has happened this way for a reason, and things are about to become a lot clearer. Now, this wasn't supposed to be in this deck. This is from the other deck of messages from your counterpart that I made. Leaving you behind broke me in ways you wouldn't believe. You know, this has obviously come into this reading because it needed to. You needed to hear that about this person. And someone commented on one of my videos yesterday, and they said, if a person chooses someone else over me, then they don't love me and I'm dumb. And I have to say, I really strongly disagree with that. I think most all of us at some point have been in a relationship with one person whilst perhaps in love with another. It's something we've all experienced at some point. But also, you must not underestimate how powerful karma is, okay? Even if you're not madly in love with someone and you recognize the toxicity that exists in a relationship, karma will keep you there until you've learned your lesson. It's magnetic. And, you know, I speak to so many people that are in karmic situations and they see everything that's wrong with it, but they just can't let go. And they're not even sure why. Sometimes they don't understand themselves why they're still there. So we must appreciate that love is much more complex than that. It's not as black and white as saying, oh, I love this person, so I'm going to be with him. Life is never that straightforward or easy. It might be when you're young and you have no responsibilities and no cares. But quite often it's not that straightforward to just walk out of one relationship and begin another one. And so you're being asked to recognize this. You're being asked to understand that it hurt this person to not be with you as much as it hurted you. And that it wasn't because they didn't care or because they didn't love you. Are you willing to accept this person as they are? And I feel like they probably aren't available to you. You know, it says here there's karma to be resolved. But you can still be there for one another. You know, you need to work hard to be friends and to try and accept one another's situation and to grow through it together. This is what's going to really strengthen and empower this beautiful connection you already have. Unconditional love means to love without expectations. Yeah. Being friends, being there for one another is really going to help you work through these energies together. And as I said, I'm hearing it's going to help strengthen your connection. Surrender some more. Healing is an infinite process. And the other one that came up here for you was embrace your divinity. Do not fear judgment. Be brave and face the fear anyway. And I feel like you're very secretive about your spirituality. I feel like you're very reluctant to truly embrace the spiritual nature of the journey. I feel like you feel embarrassed and you're afraid of other people's opinions and how they might judge you when they discover you're the new woo-woo person in town. You know, we've all been through that. And actually, I'd encourage you to join my Facebook group. It's called Networking and Support. You can find a link in the description below. But that's for people that are on a spiritual journey of ascension, through either independently or through a relationship. There's so many happy souls there just waiting to help you through this process, because we've all been in that energy. And I remember it too. It was like coming out of the closet, you know, after being in a very corporate working environment. You know, it took me over a year to tell everyone, yeah, I'm actually a full-time medium and tarot reader and psychic now, because you get so many judgmental comments. Yeah, but you're being asked to be brave, face the fear, and do it anyway. Surrender some more. You know, commit to your healing. Recognize your own divinity. I just want to understand a bit more about this situation, this karma. What's the karma here? Yeah, it's not over. This person's struggling to let go. That's distorted masculine energy. Yeah, they're so wrapped up. They're so wrapped up in the energy of this situation that they're not able to see outside of it. Their perception is narrowed or warped. But as I said, there is a powerful spiritual beginning here. This is divine energy in motion, which is why you're being just asked to wait for this important information and hold space, because something big is about to happen. For sure, something big is about to happen. But this person is struggling to let go of this karmic situation. It's not over. There's a spiritual lesson that still needs to be learned. And I do feel that you're about to see things change quite dramatically. Part 3. So let's see what the guidance is for you before we take this over to the extended. And in the extended, we're going to have a deeper look at how each of you is feeling about the other, you know, and get some deeper guidance how to move forward. So we've got 9 of Cups, 4 of Wands in reverse, Page of Cups, and 8 of Wands. Wow. Yeah. So what I'm seeing here with this 9 of Cups is that right now this needs to be a time of powerfully reinventing and focusing on and healing self. This is where you're going to find fulfillment and satisfaction in your present, okay? Take your eyes off union for now. Trust that that's coming later. Union is your divine birthright, okay? It's going to happen. But right now you need to concentrate on yourself. However, there is a need here to maintain communication, to be lovingly supportive of this person, at least through messaging and those kind of written interactions that you share, and to trust that rapid change is coming. With this 8 of Wands energy, you know, things are about to change in a really dramatic way. This is a seismic shift that's coming for you. Are you ready? You know, you want to be ready. You want to be surrendered. You want to be healed. You want to be embracing your divinity. You want to be in this 9 of Cups energy. This is a card of wish fulfillment. The 9 of Cups teaches us that when we give ourselves what we need, anything is possible. And that's what you're being asked to do, to just hold your horses, slow down, stay in the present, focus on yourself, wait for more information. Something's going to change very soon. I'm telling you, this is a seismic, dramatic, massive, big shift that's coming your way. Are you ready? You need to get ready for it. but don't let this person fall by the wayside. You know, don't beat them up for not being where you need or want them to be. Just love them anyway and be there for them in the best way you can whilst continuing to love yourself is the guidance here for you, pile 3. Right, I'm going to take this over to the extended. So if you enjoyed this reading, you want to catch up with that, you can find a link in the description box below and also in the comments by the timestamps. If not, don't worry. Thank you so much for tuning in anyway. I really do appreciate you guys being here and I love sharing this journey with you. Do hit the like button if you enjoyed the video because it does super duper help my channel to grow and I appreciate it so much. And if you would like to subscribe, tap the little bell icon because you will get a notification every time I post. So I'll see you next time. Thanks so much, Path 3. Bye.